Hi guys and welcome to your raw review. Sorry for the wait. Hold up. I wasn't really ready for the review. Earlier. Yeah, I like to actually check out other reviews to jog my memory of the so before I do the review um because it's such a waiting night, then um I kind of forget certain odd segments. But before we get into the review this evening, I would just like to pass on my condolences to Evan Castle's family. Kevin Castle, for those who don't know, as a highly respected wrestling podcast, or him and Don on a the bill as he hosted the on a Kevin Castle show. Obviously he had a gig on the Wrestling Supers um and on other shows, and him and Don Tony went in a separate with his for a few years to focus on other stuff. Now, Ev was an absolute giant, basically. He, I had I had a couple of interactions with him on X, and he gave me a follow a couple of years ago. Um, and like I have immense respect. Um, I have immense respect for both him and Don Tony. So to hear about Evan's passing is a bit um is a bit of a knife to the heart, because I enjoyed the Don Tony Evan Castle show. I discovered it at first through the TV Tracks YouTube channel that posted episode of Don Tonic Evan Castle show film on or sounds of the apps fan with Teddy Long, and also good night to Mark if yeah or egg all fantastic podcasts, and it's just a shame because, as I said, Evan was um Kevin was a powerful voice in the community, and he was well respected. So yeah, my thoughts go out to his family, and anyway, let's get into your review. So basically, this show opens up with Adam Yes, another thing, um, and basically what this is it's a standard contract. s- and so he calls out, so he calls out Bianca Bayley, yeah, or did I call her Warren Bianca? He then calls out Io Sky, and then he calls out Maria. Yeah, and basically, he said, I apologize to you with is because it was unfair me not taking charge of the situation because I know how chaotic it gets with you, with Ray and Bear. Anchor then basically he said Bianca basically, you said she's pissed off at the whole year situation, but now she wants Rhea in the match so she can prove that she's not scared of Rhea. But she did actually say that Rhea kind of wanted her into the match. So, so in a sense, um, so in a sense, Bianca was kinda moany, basically, if I further out this segment. Obviously, as well, her crowds are starting to boo her more because she is getting stale and Oren, hence why I gave her that nickname in the first place. But before Yak would offer her a response, Bianca just Bianca just or was the contract that and Bill he signs it. The two of them have a bit of back and forth, um, a bit a bit back and forth. They start shoving each other, and then they shove Ioska eye out the way as though she's nothing. Io goes out to the Io goes out to the apron, hits the patented a drop kick and drop kicks them both end of segment. Although um although we do get confirmation that the Braun break or Baron Carroll defend his Intercontinental Championship against um against against Dominic Mysterio Pen uh, um Dominic Mysterio Pen and Finn Balor or obviously that was the next was the next announcement and that Michael Cole had announced in the back though oh you in the back though oh you have um you have the judgment and then in the house and the basically reacting to the news and basically he says to the rest of the group, I can't believe the announcement. And then he basically he says to the ominate. Um, and some people think you can't in the big one and you'll be basically people are getting a job on basically and then obviously you have a organ and object trying to um trying to down if or action. So basically it says having room us of the judgment and the and the arch increases our chances of having the intercontinental championship and the faction. Obviously, Bao says to Dominic a Bill, even you go and get the job on against Penn tonight, and obviously Carol Ch- chimes in with a pretty useful fact about the all of America because and and being a this for this episode it says you know all of America has the biggest as the biggest all in the country. Um, just a comic relief I also around um, man as well. You all know that that's Curly. It was so sort of um job in the garret but because he's not gonna get any fun or he's just you have to put the he's just you have to put the Ross or he's just you have to put the rest of the Ross or over or at this point in his career. So then we get to first my to the night. Oh, I love out Lyra versus you. Hey, now this match was probably the best match of not only this episode of or but the best but the best match of 2025 so far. You had a lot of back and forth sort of uh, based fundamental train wrestle and kind of basic stuff, but it's very easy on the eye. It was very enjoyable seeing professional wrestling and is unperfect. It does not often better. Or you had more higher like a Yuba Arrow stretch, which is one of my favourite moves. You had you had Ale, like Austin crabs and half crabs, elbow drops, etc. Crossbody. He's just a would wrestle. And basically the end of the match um, is this. Bayley has either in the Austin Crab, but she realizes she's not going to be able to make either tap. She won't up, but the in positioning is pretty bang on in the middle, so she decides to go for the rose one, which is her funny. So basically, it's basically like a version um of the of the face. And so basically, she's attempting this, or either uh, decides to pull hook the eggs into a jackknife and gets the victory. Now, obviously, after the match, Bayley doesn't she more Ida's ha- hand, but eventually the two kind of or is in Bill. He congratulates either. Uh, um, and it's announced and it's announced as well by Michael that he's will be in the women's tag team championship number one contenders tournament to determine the number one contender for all of Oregon and Raquel Rodriguez's championships. So obviously, it's I think they will. I'll go on to and that I that tag title tournament and go on to challenge for was but like that's like but that's for the SmackDown of the but yeah, I have to I have to congratulate both on your performance. You're the best. They're two of the best so us in the promotion at the moment in terms of another thing sort of based I obviously I was written for Bayley to get the victory because she's one of my favourites on the roster as oh on and is actually actually we all in the comment section. But yeah, but yeah, I have to say an incredible match, and it's definitely and it's definitely going to be a match to go back and rewatch. I think they both put on a good show. When obviously either as the up and comer and she retained the champion. champion as match because she's the inaugural um intercontinental champion for the men. Obviously, I prefer this match to the elimination um chamber to the elimination chamber qualifier that saw Bale he actually beat either, but that kinda put Bale in for an IC title match. But yeah, it'll be interesting to actually see how well these two um how these will match up against the of and like L. But but in the back, we you see um you see Chad Gable and American Alpha try to try to brown was um um some idiotic Hollywood comedian who they seem to keep having these stupid Hollywood celebs as part of the for X era. Chad Gable who says I can't even remember what his name is. It's a stupid looking name anyway. He it's a stupid look name, and it sounds stupid as hell. Um, but anyway, guys, Chad Gable says the best thing to come out of and Apple is other than E and basically he hypes up his own or ego El Grande America. I know um who'll be in 6 months and I get action as we go on throughout the review and we jump to Jackie Redmond who's AJ is and she asks um and sh- um and she asks how you if how you feeling about going into your WrestleMania match Elvin eight so if remember WrestleMania against Hogan Paul AJ then responds it's a perfect time to embarrass Logan Paul. I've got the experience. I'm the pure wrestler. Or kind of thing. But then he gets interrupted by I am carrying us, and of course the other is Scarlet. Now Scarlet, now Scarlet always distracts me because she looks incredible to be honest. Guys, I'm just saying. But basically, what Ross has actually said to me when you, the old age is the Isles, but actually we need to get a aggressive age styles if we don't get if we don't get the old AJ, you're going to lose and you have to get the victory. And ages and ages like the and ages like so what's the this other version of ages styles that you want and he basically says let me show you next let me show you next econ final of before some in so that sets up so that so that sets up an interesting an interesting match up but that sets up interesting an interesting match up but in the two and so yeah, that ends that. So that ends that segment. And just before all the way, and just before we actually get into the LWO, um, um, American Aid, segment, and we a just before we get into the American Aid LWOs segment, and we get a promo from Ludwig Kaiser and Kaiser um and Kaiser's pretty vexed about not having a WrestleMania match. It was asked about what this past week, what this past week had meant, um, um, for him, because if you didn't go backstage, him and Finney Stratton are engaged. And if you didn't and if you didn't see my SmackDown coverage, I suggest you go and check out that review for further context. It basically puts the locker room on is is it basically gives them a warning, and he also says it's a disgrace how our rising star has such as himself doesn't have a WrestleMania match on the card. And I for one was kind of nodding an agreement. Um, but yeah, um, but yeah, I'm was nodding an agreement because I think Heiser's probably one of the more underrated for us on the roster. Or, I, I think he's actually good on promos. He's a good wrestler, and he's got personality about him. He just needs, he just needs the machine to get behind him. So then we get to the six-man tag match, the LWO accompanied by Rey Mysterio. So, or the LWO team, another this match consists of Rose Del Oro, Jaragino, and Jaragino, E, and Akimo, a youth who was um, EJ's, who was EJ's, and an impact basically, but yeah, and of course, American made, so I, you've got, the, or each, and, Chad Gable's, all, or Ego El Grande Americ, and all because, Chad, um, Chad, is regular herself, is a regular herself handed and a signal last week. So that's why I is all or egos in the match. And it's very reminiscent of a triple A match and a CML match, very high foul, high in very fast paced. Rosedale Oro it's a lot of height on it's a lot of height on the suicide hives, a lot of a lot of fast paced action, but a lot of fast paced action, but odd is foul. I have room here and yeah, um and yeah, but it's a pretty decent match, but I think Rosedale Oro has to calm down a bit on some of his moves. Sometimes I think he goes a bit too high, and I don't want to see him get um injured. And essentially, Chad Gable. I'm sorry. Essentially, um, I'll El Grande Americano and Brack Chad Gable um gets a metal and sticks it in his mask. Now Jaragino is the Gilma and for the LWO but Raymond is also like that on the apron apron to the right. If he's got metal pull, he's got metal pull. So he goes at the pass on the apron. So El Grande Americano headbutts him or he goes he goes he goes flying onto the ring mats down oh oh um Jaragino he gets back up off the canvas tries to go for a hurricane rana but ends up eating Americanos to people. He and grande America and hits him at first of the metal underneath the mask. Then um, he hits a foul iron headbutt with the metal pill. He's still pill. Ace and gets a vic and gets a victory. As we'll see later on in the night, here that's heading, but so far you've had pretty two decent matches. Although um I think I think the women's match was strong, or just to the segment in the back with Chad Gable and um Chad Gable and American Made with the comedian and Alpha Academy a bit early on before this um, um, this match was a bit easy, but the match it's but the match itself was actually pretty good. Um, and yeah, so that's fine. So the next, um, so the so the next segment is obviously ejaculate Edmund up in the luxury box with if Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and she interviews and she interviews both and she interviews both um, about the she interviews both of the about the tag title tournament and basically and basically Jackie it's um it's Rodriguez and Morgan who sort of break down the tag title tournament, and they basically say they're all great but they're not all as great as us. Um obviously is obviously as well I've murder and reminds everyone that are the greatest women's tag champs of all time because they've won the belt 3 times, 3 times of each other, and they'll still be the champions coming out of WrestleMania. Yeah, so yeah, so that was that. So then we then we get to the shitty. So then we get to a shitty part of the show. Oh, guys, we get to the so we get to the whole Warriors and get to the whole Warriors and then the new match. Now that now this has been an on and off again youth for the best part of 10 years. I've had a lot of matches of feature other or but unfortunately but unfortunately this match only lasts about 5 minutes and essentially um we get another disqualification for finish obviously Xavier Woods hits Ivar with the chair and like Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston start beating up on the Warriors because the skill qualification obviously it sets up a future match but obviously it sets up a future match between the Warriors and the Nude but the Nude have kinda ran a bit out of steam the past couple weeks. The heel turns kinda cooled off a bit and they're um not as impactful as what they once were. Um but yeah but yeah bullshit finish. Um obviously they would have that match on for WrestleMania. Um, but like I actually prefer MCGM and the Street Profits. I can match over the Warriors New match in terms of match quality. But I think they'll go with that match because you need at least one sort of men's tag championship match on the card. And I think they'll actually opt for the Warriors and to the New Day. Now personally, speaking, I think that would be a horrendous move. I kind of want to see or see machine guns getting your first getting your first in event, but sad to I think it'll be the opposite match that um that it's the first WrestleMania match. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said main event, but yeah, that gets the tag title match for WrestleMania. But anyway, but anyway, so the next segment is obviously the J Uso Unfer segment. Now Unfer comes out very smartly. He dressed in the red eye with a H or extra further or illustrating the on whether thinks he's better than Jay. So obviously the red tie signifies the loss of Bill or that Jay shows brother other Jimmy offered in that segment overseas in the beat down obviously obviously before Gunther can actually you say anything Jay Uso um Jay Uso comes out and he basically gives his most passionate his most passionate promo that he's ever given and it needed um and it needed some passion injected into the as um f- um f- he would basically ask Unfor to have a or like or to talk or about to talk or about getting the groceries etc etc and and he's like and Jay's like um do you know what me and Mum talked about? We talked about Wawa as to eat and the whole beat down that you give my brother. Oh, and she's and she asked me what I didn't protect him. Oh, so now um so now so now, J- so now he says, as eh, um, I've got to get you for my family. I've got to take you to for my brother, or and I'm going but share so me in here and throughout all of this, Winford doesn't even say a but you can basically see his expression change because he was because he was out um because he was out in it for us being very nonchalant on and very sort of and very sort of over basically but as soon as Jade did deliver to that homo his expression changed and obviously I enjoyed the promo but the crowd are actually still doing the are still doing the each and like the were very quiet and like the previous they were very quiet in a few previous segments so they decided to eke up for the jail so promo now it wasn't the time for the yeet chant. Even Jabe is like that. And when we're not really as as JJ whipped out to the or out this was meant to be more serious jail. So and he came across was perfect. However, the crowd tried their best around that segment. Obviously, obviously, Jules did the best what he was given. It was just to that crowd and a bunch of and a bunch of young was basically and it's the reason why WWE are doing a lot or international um sh- international shows because even as the US crowds are like a library half the time unless you go to Chicago or Philadelphia or some um if a bit of wrestling in history. So yeah, so to the answer is so bang on in that, yeah, yeah, back. So yeah, back to the segment. So back to the next segment. Then we get to then we get to pen and um and and Dominic Mysterio. Now this match I thought um this match I thought was just okay. So to speak, I was expecting a faster pace. I was expecting a faster paced match because oh, because Penta is in the ring and you're guaranteed a fast paced match. Usually, you have Dominic Mysterio who's removed a lot in the ring. He gave a good account of himself. Dominic Mysterio has curly out at ringside. If obviously there is a bit of back and forth between Penta and Dominic Mysterio. Now, Dominic Mysterio, I think, had 60% of the offense. Surprisingly, and then surprisingly in this match. So yeah, so that was a change, um, but like Penta catches him at the end of the match with the Penta driver gets them in and um he'll be go Penta gets another victory. But Carly to the end jumps in, attacks him. Dominic gets back. Um, Dominic gets back up, and the two rhythms start to attack. Start to attack Pen. But out comes on Breaker. Carly he tries to take off at the ramp. He but Braun Breaker gives him an epic spear And I have to actually say the way Bray or hits that year, it's probably the most impactful and elderly year I've ever seen a wrestler or attempt this year. Um, here because like he hits this year. It's always impressive. He hit one with Ludwig Kaiser with an epic speed at Saturday night's main event a few months back. This guy is the prototype of an athlete. He spent some time in the NFL. He spent some time in the NFL. Um, and stuff. He's a son of Rick Steiner, if you're Scots, and also he's got good wrestling pedigree. This guy is on hell of an athlete. And he's fast becoming one of my favourites on the roster. Or he's a really cool guy. Obviously as well. Obviously as well. He kind of takes care of business with um and um with and Carly. Oh, and then and Bow or pops up have um have some the 1906 6 in but on breaker quick it's by a cup and tries to get Bauer back for the ninth uh, uh, um 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 or the 1906 in reverse he he but Bauer just um outside a ring. Um, but yeah, I thought that this match was okay to be honest. Dominic Mysterio had a really good shown here, and it's shown how far he's came, so to speak. But yeah, so that took care of that. Obviously, obviously, in the back, Adam, your Caesar officer, Imperial asks, Adam, yes, or I'm a match with, El Grande, Americano, at some, in, yeah, um, Adam Yes, is out of respect for our unique visual agent which I'll pray I'll give you the match with a Phil Grande Americano because obviously he, he is he said to Chadgy he both making a mockery out of Rachel. He blamed the America no alter ego. Um and just before the Paul Heyman Seth Rollins segment you have Chad Cable back up actually. Um, you have Chad Cable in the back office with again up Algorand Americano etc. Trust throughout the whole commercial break hearing as some Chad Cable and an American the but I guess if yeah possible human cut pro almost in evil on these but conro omenere in Zossi on il remain oil to them but before the kid before the kid expanding that Sephora all and comes out and he asks him and whose idea on or Romans or punks or momentary so like he's what I feel like you're supposed on or his jets is he everything for him and Uncle yells about Ash. So, so what I'm gonna do, yeah, for Eva by taking you out the match at the some in here for your own good, and and on all in so absolutely is I push him around the bit, and Heyman says won't ever watch me again. So just before it was us for all and just going to kick him and his ass out comes Unk for the and the two of them have a bit of a back and forth or all ends ultimately he hits Unk if the um if this um and then any try I hit human if it is well as human is in them I do a checking on Hunk off on the home and and if basically stops himself and says Heyman, you owe me your favor. And as I predicted in my SmackDown mother of the video, I think for all Ins and Heyman will join forces at WrestleMania. Yeah, and I think this is or if of I think this is riff of it. So I'll give the a 7 out of 10 for the episode. The American made Alpha Academy Cell eps of shut the um opening segment between a but um in a generic contract signing that is sort of sort of okay, whatever. Um, and the and the new and the new team and the new team already of my action wasn't very good either, but the rest of the show I felt is a lot more enjoyable than SmackDown, so I'm giving it a 7 out of I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Obviously, as well, I'd have preferred it if we had a Woody Rhodes segment, but he was also on the entire show, so it's not very good for the whole John Cena Cody Rhodes match heading into me in yeah uh so so yeah for on that reason I'm giving it a 7. So remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of any new videos. And yeah, I dedicate this review to Evan Cass. Oh, obviously, it's a tragic situation that everybody found out about. uh, and that everybody found out about before. Oh, but yeah, guys, I'll see you all um in the next video.